Welcome back to the channel, traders. In today's video, we're breaking down the latest market setups across Bitcoin, altcoins, and the macro environment, showing you exactly where the next major moves could come from. We'll look at Bitcoin's key breakout levels and trendline retests, altcoin market cap signals that often precede alt season, macro factors like rate cut probabilities that can fuel crypto momentum. This is a full technical and macro walkthrough designed to educate traders and help you understand the structure behind every move, so you're not just watching price, but reading the market like a professional. Stick around until the end because I'll also show you how we guide our community step by step through trades inside our Telegram, so you can trade with confidence, not emotion. Here we're looking at the altcoin total market cap, and something very interesting is happening. A golden cross is forming. Each time in this chart when the short-term moving average crossed above the long-term moving average, marked here as points 1 and 2, it triggered strong multi-week altcoin rallies. Now, we're seeing point number 3. The moving averages are aligned bullishly, price structure is intact above support, momentum is starting to build. If history repeats, this setup could signal the early stages of the next major altcoin rally. For traders, this is the type of macro signal that often precedes a strong rotation into alts, especially as Bitcoin dominance cools off. Here we have Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and the structure is forming a textbook bull flag. A bull flag is a continuation pattern that typically forms after a strong upward impulse. Price consolidates within a downward sloping channel, shaking out weak hands before the next leg higher. In this chart, Bitcoin has defined support near 112k Keller, a clear descending channel forming the flag, momentum now pushing against the upper trend line. A confirmed breakout above this pattern could ignite a sharp move toward the 130k zone, continuing Bitcoin's macro bullish trend. For traders, the key here is volume confirmation on the breakout. That's often the trigger for the next high momentum leg. Shifting to the macro landscape, here's a look at the CME FedWatch tool for the September 2025 meeting. The market is now pricing in a 90% probability of a rate cut, with the target moving from 425 to 450 basis points down to 400 to 425. This is a major shift in monetary policy expectations, and it matters for crypto because lower interest rates reduce the cost of capital, encouraging risk-on behavior. Liquidity typically flows into high volatility assets first, and historically, Bitcoin and altcoins benefit from easing cycles. This alignment of macro policy softening with bullish crypto structures adds another tailwind for the market heading into Q4 2025. Here we have Bitcoin testing a critical ascending trend line that's defined the entire uptrend since early April. We can see multiple clean touches along this trend line acting as dynamic support, each time triggering a new leg higher. Right now, price action is resting right at this key level. Two scenarios emerge from here. A bounce from trendline support could send Bitcoin back toward the 125k, 128k range, continuing the bull trend. A confirmed breakdown would signal trend exhaustion, potentially opening the door to a deeper retracement toward 100k. For traders, this is a classic decision point, where risk management and confirmation signals are crucial before positioning for the next major move. In regulatory news, the White House is preparing an executive order aimed at punishing banks that discriminate against certain businesses, and this includes crypto firms. For years, the crypto industry has faced debanking pressure, where institutions limited or outright closed accounts tied to crypto exchanges, miners, and blockchain service providers. If this executive order goes through, it could force banks to provide fair access to crypto businesses, reduce operational risk for US-based exchanges and service providers, support broader institutional participation since reliable banking is critical for liquidity. For traders and investors, this move strengthens the regulatory foundation for crypto adoption in the US, aligning with the growing macro and technical tailwinds we've already discussed. Next, we have Popcat on the weekly chart, and it's forming a classic bullish megaphone pattern. A megaphone pattern is identified by higher highs and a stable support base, which signals increasing volatility with a bullish bias. Popcat has been respecting this horizontal support while producing significantly higher highs, indicating strong underlying momentum. If this structure continues, the next upside target sits around $4 per coin, with the potential for exponential wave rallies, typical of breakout phases in speculative altcoins. For traders, this pattern highlights a high-risk, high-reward setup, where volume confirmation will be key to validating the move toward the projected target. Here's a long-term view of Dogecoin versus USDT, highlighting its cyclical accumulation and breakout behavior. Over the past cycles, Dogecoin has repeatedly shown the same pattern: accumulation zones where price consolidates for months, explosive breakout phases, producing new higher highs, HH. Currently, we are emerging from another major accumulation zone, with higher lows, HL, forming as support, a sign of strengthening market structure. If this pattern continues, Dogecoin could mirror its previous parabolic waves, pushing toward the next projected high along the trend line.
Here's Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, and this move is a perfect example of market structure manipulation followed by breakout. Price spent several days trading inside a fallen channel with multiple rejections at the descending resistance, support test along the lower boundary. Notice the fake out below support, a classic stop hunt move to shake out long positions before the real reversal.
After reclaiming the channel, Bitcoin exploded through resistance, confirming a bullish breakout and triggering a high momentum move into the 124K range. For traders, this setup reinforces the importance of patience and confirmation. Fakeouts often precede the strongest breakouts. This chart shows Bitcoin dominance, and we are witnessing a clear structural shift. For months, dominance moved in a strong uptrend, forming higher highs and higher lows along a rising trend line. But now, that trend has broken down. We've printed a lower low for the first time in the cycle. Price action has retested into a lower high, and the structure now favors continued downside. If this move continues, Bitcoin dominance could fall toward the 58% region, signaling a potential altcoin rotation. Historically, falling dominance aligns with capital flowing into altcoins, which complements the bullish setups we've seen across the altcoin market cap charts earlier in this video. Here we see Bitcoin climbing the ladder, one step at a time. The structure is very clean: breakout from resistance, retest confirming new support, expansion into the next leg higher. Every major resistance level has flipped into support, and each breakout has been validated by a clean retest, a textbook example of trend continuation. Right now, Bitcoin is holding above 110, and if we see another successful retest, it could set the stage for the next leg toward 130 and beyond. For traders, this is a clear, high time frame bullish structure where buying dips at confirmed supports has been the optimal strategy. Inside our Telegram, trades don't just appear. We guide you through every step of the process. Our structured professional approach includes initial analysis before the trade even forms, so you understand the setup in advance, ongoing monitoring and market breakdowns as the setup develops, precise entries only after our confirmations align, updates at every key level and take profit, so you're never left guessing, full support all the way to trade close, turning analysis into actionable execution. No noise, no FOMO, just structured professional trading, fully supported. If you're ready to trade with confidence, click the Telegram link in the description and learn how to stay ahead of the market like a true trading professional.